So, hello, welcome back to another episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. Today, once again, we go through the courage to be happy by some people. I still do not really know how to pronounce them, so I'll let it be. I'm definitely not going to do so. But yeah, children have to struggle with the gap between the mental, what I want to do, and the physical, what I can do. Things that only adults can do. They feel inferior. Adults look only at their physical needs and baby them. It's a bit too loud apparently, isn't it? Yes, now it's better. They feel inferior. Adults look only at their physical needs and baby, quote-unquote, them. Instead, try to look at the children's minds. Maybe thinking about it just a bit more. If looking at it, only looking at it, is just what it needs, so the child needs, I don't really know. I wouldn't necessarily say, but I don't know. Just being smart about things, just thinking about what would I like to have, what things would I like to see, to have, to feel, to whatever. And maybe thinking a bit like, well, maybe this is something my child also wants to have, so I'm gonna give it to my child. It would at least make sense. But yeah. The feeling of inferiority is a stimulant of effort and also growth, apparently. Dig up your own community feeling and seek connection with other people, which is something that I would say in general is something people need, human beings just need. I guess this is a fact. I guess this is definitely something that is quite known, or has been quite known throughout the years. We've gotten to realize that, we've gotten to see that. Accept your ordinary selves, ordinary and just like everyone else, without any outstanding qualities. Which is really out of context, because I don't think that it means what they meant. I think what they meant is like, accept your ordinary selves. Sometimes regarding certain things we are indeed ordinary, but I would say we all have certain qualities and we actually all are extremely good at some things. It might just be only one thing, it might be something that is rather insignificant and rather, not necessarily that useful, maybe, regarding whatever, regarding economical success, maybe. Might not work in that way, but still, we all have certain qualities. We all are good at certain things, and this is a fact. I think it is. I don't want to say it is proven, but it just makes sense. We all are good at something. We all are, maybe even amazing at something. Some small things. What it is. Being always in a good mood. I think this is also kind of a skill, because it might come from having a certain perspective on life and or seeing things in a certain way. But yeah, in friendships we see with the eyes of another, listen with the ears of another, and feel with the heart of another. Our contribution to others is tested in our friendship relationships. I think it is actually a pretty good goal to give something to people, like to your friends, being able to contribute something, not being merely a friend. I actually don't want to say that, but I think you know what I mean. Just being able to give them something that they maybe give them something and gift them something, probably something they would not be able to get from someone else, just because it is something you are truly good at, maybe. I am not a person who confers teachings from above. I am nothing more than a wisdom-loving philosopher at the same level as you. I can recognize my errors and adopt other views. I have to learn many things from you. A person who does not believe in others cannot engage in direct discussion. after a breakup, if you only remember the bad things, this is evidence that you want to feel, I am glad we broke up, and some uncertainty remains about your decisions. I think when it comes to breakups, not always, but there probably are certain things that, certain good things about this breakup, and or certain good things that happened in the relationship prior to the breakup. I very consciously said it's not always going to be the case. Some relationships are just shit and they shouldn't just exist, period. But I think at least we can learn something about ourselves. I would at least hope that this is the case. Maybe this is actually also something to focus on during a relationship. Not necessarily thinking about okay, if I eventually break up with this person, I at least have this, that, and the other thing, or I at least learned this, that, and the other thing about me. This might not be kind of the best way to see things. I at least think it makes sense, yes, but that's it quite. I think it is rather negative, and negative visualization in and of itself is not bad, but is it necessary? This is another thing to think about. Start being friends with no regard to whether others are cooperative or not. Lofty love is unforgiving of defilement. What? Ends? Defies the other person. There. Suppose there is a thing you want that you're fascinated by. You have never touched it. You don't even know how to work it, but you crave to possess it. You imagine you would use it all the time. No other thing can enter your head. But when you actually get the thing, you don't actually love it like you thought you would. It isn't that you wanted to really use it, you just wanted to acquire, to possess, and to triumph. Falling in love is no different from this desire to possess or this desire for triumph. Your obsession with that thing is just like crushing on someone with a tempest of endless desire. I guess it is known by now that we tend to go for things that we do not have, and, biologically and or historically, I guess this really makes sense, when we already have something. Why would I try to strive for it, I guess? To strive for more of the same, no, doesn't make too much sense. Evolutionary, or evolutionarily, not necessarily historically. But still, period, I guess. The story of Cinderella in her glass slippers ends when she gets married to the prince. Focus on their relationship after they get married. Marriage is really the starting point of love. Apparently, in this story it might be the case. If this is the case in general, I would hope not. I would hope it not to be the case, but who knows? Maybe it's something else after marriage. I couldn't tell. I couldn't say. Rather than the self-interest seeking of my happiness or the other interested wishing for your happiness, of me, and one is not satisfied with only the happiness of you, unless it is the happiness of two of us, it has no meaning. Love is a task accomplished by two people. Through love, two people accomplish a happy life. It is not self-interested, and it is not other-interested either. Love is neither self-interest nor other interest, it rejects both. Love is liberation from, quote-unquote, me. I have to once again do this. If it makes sense or not, I will see. But yeah, I think it is better in terms of the popping sounds and me blowing into the microphone. Love can change the subject of life from me to us. It is through love that we are liberated from me, that we achieve self-reliance and truly accept the world. The us that began as just two people will eventually broaden in scope to the entire community and the entire human race. Weakness becomes a frightfully powerful weapon in an interpersonal relationship. In childhood, we control the adults by way of our own weakness, the life in a golden age in which everything they wanted was given to them. Some still feel that if they cry enough, protest enough, and refuse to cooperate, they will continue to be able to get whatever they want. Adults who treat their own weakness or misfortune, their hurt, troubled background, and trauma as a weapon. They regard strong people as evil and try to make their weak selves out to be good. They are incapable of focusing on anything aside from their own individual profit, and they cannot see life and society as a whole. All human beings start off with an almost excessive self-centeredness. They would not survive otherwise. However, one cannot reign supreme at the center of the world forever. One has to make peace with the world and come to the understanding that one is part of the world. Guess what, motherfucker? It's not all about you, but still some people think that it is all about them. And I think it is, first of all, it might mean that it's just behind a few years, but it is not about one. There are many people on this planet, and it probably is really not about you, but about some other ones. Self-reliance is breaking away from self-centeredness. Children who cry, get angry, and shout in rebellion are not incapable of controlling their emotions. Actually, they control their emotions rather too well and turn them into action, because they have the intuition that unless they go that far, they will never gain their parents' love and attention. The firstborn child who has monopolized their parents' love and the birth of a brother or sister will be forced to come down from that position. The firstborn child was not cope with the setback satisfactorily, will hope to someday regain that seat of power, being a worship of the past who creates a lifestyle that is conservative and is pessimistic with regard to the future. At the heart of the second child there lies the feeling of I want to catch up. They want to catch up with their elder brother or sister. To catch up, they have to hurry. They are constantly pushing themselves and planning how to catch up with, overtake, and even triumph over their elder brother or sister. So second children aim for revolution. This classification is purely an aid to human understanding. It does not actually determine anything. You are living within the realm of possibility. You think of happiness as something that will come from somewhere else. Happiness hasn't come my way yet, but if I can just meet the person of my destiny, everything will be fine. Thinking there's got to be a more ideal, more perfect destined partner. By bringing forward excessive and unrealizable ideas in this way, you avoid anything that may lead to interactions with real, living people. Loving someone is a decision, it is a judgment, it is a promise. We must be the master of our destinies. Rather than seeking a destined person, we build relationships of a kind that might be referred to as destined. Because we value others' ideas, we must continue to update them. We must not turn into fundamentalists. A lot of very good thoughts here. I do like the last one. I want to quickly hit on that. There is an idea. What about using this idea and making something good out of it, rather than sticking to this idea and thinking about it as a rule, as a thing? It's just kind of a reality. As it is with Stoicism, Stoicism can be used as a tool. Stoicism can be used as a set of rules, a set of thoughts. But if you should live by them like as they were written 2,000 years ago, I wouldn't necessarily say so. But using them as guidelines and revolutionizing them, updating them. Another thing, searching for the perfect person, for the perfect partner. I don't know if this is it is a goal, yes. If it is a sensical goal, on one hand I think it is not up to me to decide on that. It's definitely up to you on deciding upon that, but what is perfect? That being said, I'm gonna end the episode here. See you soon. Bye bye.